Okay, so I'm here with Zahava Israeli. She's the filmmaker behind Papa, a film that's in competition at our festival in London. Congratulations, welcome to the festival.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Can you tell me how you're connected to the film? Because I understand you wear multiple hats in this film. And what is your connection and what's the film about?
Yes. My connection is I'm one of the producers, and I'm the wife of Dan Israeli, the writer-director of the film. The film is about it's inspired by a true story,
Yeah.
and it's about an adopted son that is looking for his biological parents. The film, the story gets a lot of twists and surprises, and what the son finds out is something that is really beyond imagination. It's a very fulfilling, very moving, somewhat educated film, because there's elderly abuse information in it, and family ties. It's a heartwarming film, and it's a film that I think everybody should see, not only because there are so many adopted children in this world, but there's always a curiosity among the adopted children to know who their biological parents are, and also there's also a lot of fear to find out their biological parents, because maybe they are this or that. And Ben, the character in the film, had the courage to go on and look for his biological parents, and it turned out to be a very, very fulfilling outcome.
And you're a co-writer on this as well, I believe, aren't you?
No, but I'm the psychological advisor on the film.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I suppose the technical advice in terms of you made sure if something was going to happen, it was done in the right way.
Right.
Is that a good way to describe
and the
it?
psychological,
From
yes.
a psychological point of view.
Yes, yes.
So if we can go right back to even before this film was made,
Yes.
how did the whole project begin? Where did it all start, and how did it all come about?
Okay. Well, since it's based on a true story, or inspired by a true story, my husband decided that he would like to make a film about the subject. Also, I'm because of my job dealing with adopted children.
Because you are a doctor by profession, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
And knowing what those children go through, I told him, why don't you write a film, a script about adopted children. Actually, he wrote a book called Papa,
Yeah.
and from the book, he turned it to a script, and then to a film, of course. And I'm very happy he listened to me, because I think it'll help a lot of adopted children.
And has Dan made, I mean, is this, how many other films has he been involved in?
Dan has been involved in many, many films as a co-director, as a writer, of course, a producer, but this is his first film that he actually wrote and directed, with all those beautiful Hollywood actors.
Well, it's an incredible cast. Anne
Yes.
Margaret, seriously, Misha Barton, Daryl Hannah,
Yes,
Paul Savino, Eric Roberts.
yes, each and every one of them.
It's amazing.
Eric
Eric
Roberts. Oh, Eric Roberts. Yeah. Let's see. Did we forget anyone? Rob Wilson is the lead actor for Days of Our Lives, and of course David Proval, Paul Sorvino, and Vince Pastore. They're all from The Sopranos.
How did you get them into the film? I mean, let's be honest.
Hard work.
Yeah, a lot of hard work.
Hard work.
So did you, let's use, I don't know, Daryl Hannah as an example. Would she have been sent the script and then did she say yes straight away, or was it a case of?
That's a very good question. The actors that we see here, they're so well known,
Yes.
and so experienced actors that they will not take any film, and they actually, each and every one of them, like the story. They really like the story, and that's when, after they read the script, they said, okay, we are in, because we like the story.
And in terms of, obviously I know your connection to the film, but had you been involved in filmmaking at all before? Was this your first foray into filmmaking?
I've been involved in filmmaking just beyond the scenes.
Right.
So this is my first involvement in a real feature film, which was, some of it was shot in our house and Beverly Hills and the entire Los Angeles area. But I was just in charge of almost everything. And of course our producer, our other producer, Emilio Russo, we worked together, and it was a beautiful, beautiful working team.
So it must have been, I know you've been involved behind the scenes before now, but in terms of actually being on the ground, if you don't mind me saying it this way, and being intimately involved in something, because obviously you finance as well, but I'd like to know what the whole experience was like, and how was the experience how you imagined it to be? Was it much more complex? Was it much better than you thought?
Well, it was much more complex than I thought.
Yes.
Because you're dealing with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with people with all kinds of, issues. And you have to adhere to everyone and make sure that everyone is satisfied and make sure that everyone is happy during the shoot and after the shoot and before the shoot. And it's complicated when it comes to working with a lot of people, and it's so tense, and it's a time-consuming. It could be difficult.
It's tough. I know,
yes,
it's very, very
yes,
tough.
Yes.
But was it fulfilling for you?
Very, very, very fulfilling. Very fulfilling, because I always had in mind very positive energy.
Yeah.
And also the idea that we need to work as a team, otherwise, like a family, a good family ties, otherwise all kinds of things can go haywire. So it was very fulfilling. I'm so happy we did it. And I see the results now. People love the film, those that have seen it already.
Film, yeah, it's an amazing film.
Thank you
They're
so much.
all brilliant, frankly, aren't they?
Yes, thanks.
They're all brilliant.
Thank
And
you.
what about I know that it was originally a book. The book becomes a conversion film. But how much of the book has been translated to the screen?
Good idea. Your questions are beautiful.
Thank you.
It has been changed. The book is, I think, simpler than the movie.
The book is simpler than the movie?
Yes.
That's unusual.
Usually.
It's normally the other way around.
Right. Maybe simpler is the wrong word, but it's some of the dynamics changed in the script if you compare it with the book. I think he then revised it a little bit and made it even more interesting than, if I can say so, the book.
And what's it like? It's a bit not an awkward question, it's quite a difficult question to ask, but I will ask you this. You're working with your husband.
Yes.
And let's be honest, if I was to work with my wife, there's a dynamic, isn't there?
Yes, yes.
You can probably see where I'm going with this. Was that difficult to do? I don't know. You get married, perhaps it was a piece of cake. I don't know. But was it an enlightening experience to actually work with him?
Yes, it was beautiful, because we've always been working together. Dan writes. He is a writer, and he writes poems, and those poems have been translated to musical. They've been composed. Music was composed to a lot of his poems, and we have a CD. And I'm the motor behind Dan.
Right.
So we always work together.
The power behind the throne.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
We do have some differences here and there, and some of the things. Dan is usually a very easygoing person, but when he has a point, he wants to make a point, and he's very, very sure about it, I cannot really change it.
That's interesting.
Yes, so I know that, and I don't go there.
And so, are you going to? I'm sure I hope the answer is yes. Are you going to do something with him again in terms like this? I mean, really be involved again.
Absolutely, he's writing another script, and we're almost not really ready for the next movie, but we're planning the next movie.
And what's it like working? I mean, this is an ensemble cast, frankly.
Yes.
I mean, it must be. You must have gone home. You've worked with Daryl Hannah, Misha Barr, and Margaret, and so on and so forth. Did you have to pinch yourself? I mean, it must have been an incredible experience.
Yes, it really, really was, and all of them are so nice. They're nice people. They're very respectful towards everyone, and they can all teach Dan how to direct film. Excuse me, they're also experienced, but they were very, very courteous They listen to his directions very well, and they're just wonderful people. You know, they're so big. They don't have any ego. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's what I found with every one of them, and we became friends. We even invited some of them for dinner at our house.
So now you've done Papa, you can do Mama. That'll be
Yeah.
the sequel, so yeah.
That'll be very well. Very well.
And is the film that is complete? Is it pretty much exactly how you hoped it would be? Or was there anything you wish you'd added to it, or what's your overall take? I know it's a really good film, but what's your personal feeling?
Well, the editing, we had to cut a lot in the editing
Right.
to make it shorter, and that's if I have some regrets is that we didn't make it a 2-hour movie.
Yes.
Because there's so many more that we shot that I think should have been in the movie. But, you know, listening to all the experts and whatnot.
It's very difficult, I know.
Yes, so we cut that. That's my only regret, that we cut it to 107 minutes.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, I spoke to lots of filmmakers, and the editing process, I
Yes.
feel, is possibly the most difficult part.
Very difficult.
Because someone's got to make that decision, haven't they?
Yeah. And you cut, and then you cut, and then you cut, and you say, okay, enough cutting, but then you need to cut them all. And some of the beautiful scenes were cut. We have a beautiful scene with Paul Sorvino that had to be cut, and you know, it just, I had no other choice. If we wanted to make it not a shorter, but you know, not a 2-hour film. But overall, it came out much nicer, better, and more convincing than I thought. Because I think we tailored the role to those actors very, very well. Each one of them fit the role so well that I think that made the film a true film. Real convincing one.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Like I say, it's an amazing film. And I don't know, Michael Madsen, again, as a random
Yeah,
example.
everybody was laughing when they saw him.
Yeah. But I'm assuming you wrote the roles, and then obviously you were casting, and obviously trying to get this kind of
Yes.
talent on board. But getting back to what I was saying earlier, to even have one of them attached to your film would be an amazing thing.
Right.
But to attach 10 people, 8 plus the 2 down here, I can't imagine how difficult that must have been.
Very
it must take
difficult.
months.
Yes, it took 2 years to
Right.
cast. Yeah, it was very, very difficult.
And did any of them really?
But we didn't give up.
No.
We made sure that once we make a decision, and it didn't matter how long it's going to take, it'll be the right decision. And I'm glad we did that. You know, we didn't rush into that and just said, okay, I think we got the right person and let's do it. No, we waited and made more auditions and whatnot, and decided, when we decided on the final cast, that was a very good decision. It felt very good.
To get them, yeah, of course.
And of course, we're very happy.
The results, yeah, on
Yes.
screen.
They're great.
Now, if someone was coming in fresh to make a film and really want to get into filmmaking, and I know because I speak to them, it is very, very tough. I don't just mean the financial side, which obviously is vitally important. I mean the casting process, the crew, the location, the editing, the cinema, everything.
Everything.
Now I know you're involved from start to finish. What would you say? I mean, these people have got to go in with their eyes open.
Yes.
And what would you say to them? What advice would you give to them?
I would say make sure you have a psychology on board.
My goodness.
Yes. Make sure the people you work with are not moody people, and they are not too much controlling. The ones that work for you. Because some of them will start telling you what to do.
So did you have any instances of that?
No, we really didn't.
Right.
We really didn't.
But it could easily happen. It can happen.
It can easily happen if you don't choose the right people.
Right.
It can really happen. And being a psychologist, I made sure that, that will take place. That we'll have the right people. We did have to fire some people along the way,
Yeah.
which is, normal.
Yeah, that happens.
And I would also say, take your time. Don't rush. Don't ever have a deadline, but know that even though you have a deadline, it might change. So don't get into a stress and be so uptight about it, because then things go wrong.
And we are talking, I wasn't there on the shoot, obviously, but I know, because of nature filmmakers, we are talking long days.
Yes.
That's the thing that people need to understand. It's a very, very tough
Very
profession
tough.
to be in.
Very tough.
And what's the best and worst part about making any film, but particularly about making this film? What's the best and worst about making it?
The best part, I think, was working with all these beautiful people, and because they all were so good and so nice and so professional.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They're all so professional. You don't have to say much, And the worst part I would say would be different locations, moving the trailers and this and that, and it's the logistic part of the film that was a little bit difficult, more difficult than the other parts. Yeah.
Now, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, I'm trying to frame this question. As a psychologist,
Yes.
I would suggest that you know the human nature inside out, but that's your job.
Yes.
I hope you don't mind me saying it.
No, yes.
Did you discover anything about yourself that you didn't realise before you made this film?
It's a very good question. Yes, I realized that I'm much more patient than I thought I am. I had to be, and I knew that, it made me more humble.
Yes.
And a lot more forgiving.
Well, you weren't expecting that.
No, because I expect a lot of myself.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And therefore I expect a lot from others. But I've learned, to come down and say, well, they are who they are, and you are who you are, and take it easy. So that was a good lesson.
And do you wish you'd become, I know you are involved with filmmaking, obviously I know because of your husband, but do you wish you'd have taken this leap earlier in your life, or was now the right time?
No, I think that's the right time, money-wise and maturity-wise, and where I am in my life. I think that is the perfect time to do the film, because I'm glad I have the background that I have. Because without this background, I don't think I would have been able to enjoy the film as much as I enjoyed it.
Well, the whole process?
Yes, the process of the film, yes.
Okay. That's it. Wonderful.
Thank
you so much for your time.
Thank you, and this is a beautiful, beautiful film festival. I'm glad I came to London. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in Nice and Madrid and Amsterdam and all over the world. Yeah.
When I'm in my dreams, you appear to me. Just the sight of you brings me joy. When I'm in my dreams, time is standing still. Here we are, a photograph, picture perfect. You and I as one, our journey's begun. I take your hand. Could it be I'm dreaming? You and I as one, our journey's begun. I touch your face, dear God, make this dream come true. when I'm in my dreams, I can feel your warm embrace. Here we are, a photograph, picture perfect. You and I as one, our journey's begun. I take your hand. Could it be I'm dreaming? You and I as one, our journey's begun. I touch your face, dear God.